Good evening.
No.
Welcome to a wonderful, wonderful evening of art to celebrate Independence Day, July 4th, here in the United States. I am Reverend Kelly Isola, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to once again be helping to host an event for the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City. Um, Before we get started, well, let me just say that tonight is for the next hour and a half or so. You can see on screen several artists that will be sharing their beauty and their skill and their talent um, uh, throughout the next 90 minutes. And since we are live streaming to YouTube and there is some chat, if you have a question for the artist as you're hearing about their wonderful gift, please put those in there and we will ask the artist. I'll have those. I'll be able to see those questions and ask the artist. But we're going to have singing, and there's some sand art, and there's thread sculpture, and an illustrator, and poetry, and book folding, and calligraphy, and I think I got them all. So before we get started, before we jump in, and I just want to share just a little bit about the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City. The Dialogue Institute envisions a society where every person sees and treats each other with dignity. And the mission of the Dialogue Institute is to promote mutual understanding, respect, and peacemaking between people of diverse faiths and different cultures and languages. And they do a wonderful, phenomenal job of creating opportunities for meaningful shared experiences to promote the common good. Not just within a community where we are, most of us are. I am, and Ayub, who is the executive director for the Dialogue Institute. We are in the greater Kansas City area. But the Dialogue Institute creates these meaningful experiences and brings people together for the common good of not just the community you're in, but really for the world through lots of different activities, such as the one that we're going to experience tonight. Most recently, you may have been able to, through April and May, participate in one of the several iftars that we had virtually on Zoom, the iftar being the fast-breaking meal during Ramadan. And we had thousands of people from around the world join and come together in community. The Dialogue Institute hosts an annual friendship dinner. They offer cooking classes, water marbling classes. There are periodically Saturday morning brunches to engage in interfaith dialogue. There's Turkic festivals. They're always busy. They're always busy working to engage people in asking the question, how can citizens of the world live in peace and harmony? And there's oftentimes a very simple answer, which is just bring people together that may not normally spend time together. Many of the participants in the Institute's activities are inspired by Fethullah Gulen and the Gulen movement. Fethullah Gulen is a Turkish Muslim scholar, brilliant thinker, author, poet, educational activist, and is just a driving force behind peacemaking, interfaith and intercultural dialogue. He supports science and democracy and spirituality. And one of my favorite quotes from him says, "Be so tolerant that your heart becomes wide like the ocean. Become inspired with faith and love of human beings. Let there be no troubled souls to whom you do not offer a hand and about whom you remain unconcerned." And I just think it's a wonderful quote, to be so tolerant that your heart becomes wide like the ocean. So tonight's activities is about that, of bringing people together and experiencing different cultural arts to be inspired for love of humanity, for love of gift, for love of beauty. So to start our evening, we are going to open with singing of the national anthem. So we're going to invite our guests to turn off their cameras, and Musa will be singing the national anthem, the United States national anthem. And he emigrated to the U.S. when he was 9, grew up in Houston, Texas. He's been living in Kansas City. He became a citizen in 2015, and he's been living in Kansas City since 2016. He has an MBA from Rockhurst University, which is here in the Kansas City area, and he works in healthcare management, which I'm guessing keeps him very busy right now during the pandemic. So welcome, Musa, and unmute yourself, and you are the screen is yours.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's rough glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was beautiful. Wonderful way to open our evening. Next, we have Beza Aka, who is a student at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and she's a local illustrator here, local meaning Kansas City. I know we have people viewing from all over. Um, and has been in the country in the US for 3 years and lived in multiple countries. I'm really looking. I saw a picture that she's going to share with us, and I'm like, ooh, I want to see more. But she's going to share with us her thought process behind her digital illustration, and celebrating Independence Day here in the United States. So welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am Beza, and I have been living here for 3 years. And since I've been here for 3 years now, I've wanted to participate and celebrate the Independence Day this year with a little something that I did. And I hope to explain the thought process behind it. I have been to many countries, and I have lived in many countries around the world. And I must say that nowhere really seemed as diverse and welcoming as America, as the United States did. Even before coming here, me and my friends would often express how America was really the land of freedom where everybody could be themselves. I'm a Turkish girl and I'm Muslim, and I have faced some, mean looks in some of the countries that I've been. But the diversity, the outstanding diversity of the American culture, the hospitality of American people, and their understanding, acceptance, and respect towards who I am as a person, as a woman, really sometimes brought me to tears on the first year of my, so to say, American dream. In these 3 years of my higher education in America, never once have I ever faced anyone treating me differently other than other peers, because they accepted me as I am. And I believe that really explains what America is, that diversity, that beautiful nature of America really is important for the American freedom, as I believe. In this piece, I do not know if it was obvious in the first glance. I wanted to represent a single American person the America is if it was one single person. And the person in front of you is of all races and of all colors, but is still an American person. Also, there's a mask on her face, which I believe was important to keep in this piece. regarding 2020, pandemic and problems going on right now. And yeah, that was the thought process behind it. And I just wanted to take a part in Independence Day celebrations this year as a person that has been really well, the hospitality of America was really welcoming me to this country, and I wanted to show my thanks and take a part in this big celebration and an important day of American culture.
So you are currently in school?
Yep.
Are you studying art, or are you just naturally that gifted? Or both?
The thing is, you wouldn't normally study art if you do not have a gift, I say.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I do not see myself as a gifted person. It's just that I like drawing, and I have been drawing since I was small. So I really liked taking part in illustrations, drawing, painting, colors, everything else. And that's why I wanted to study art. And America was, one of the best countries that would give me the best education in my field. That's why I'm here.
So this is digital illustration?
Yeah. It was done fully digitally.
Okay.
But it's basically art.
Oh, no. Yeah, that I just, for anyone watching that may not know the difference when you say digital illustration.
Uh-huh.
It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
It was the first thing I noticed was the skin color stripes, and that actually, and even different color, the hair. There's a couple different, colors of the hair in there, but it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So and encourage you to, as the evening goes on, if you have questions for any of our artists, any of our very talented people, I can tell I'm going to feel more and more jealous as the evening goes on. But if you have questions, since we're streaming live to YouTube, you can certainly ask questions in the chat stream there. And I know there's a lot of people watching and wishing happy 4th of July and happy Independence Day. So feel free to chat in there and ask any questions or give some comments and praise to our wonderful artists. Next up, we have Rhonda Miller. Rhonda is a life coach, and she's a poet, and she works with people who have lost someone to homicide. She is a fellow of the Citizen Journalism Academy and a certified life coach with the Institute of Professional Empowerment Coaching. She's past vice president of the Kansas Authors Club, and I think past president, or I may have be confused about that. But she has several published poetry books, including titled "Going Home," "Moonstain," "Water Signs," "Winds of the Time," and her first children's book, which I'm very excited about, "I Love the Child." So welcome, Rhonda.
Hi, thank you so much for having me be able to join you this evening. And I wanted to, particularly for those who will be celebrating their first Independence Day here in the United States tomorrow, to give a particular welcome to. I'm going to share 5 poems this evening. I think that for me, a lot of times independence means or is equal to having a home. Because it just seems like that's something that we strive for so much throughout the world. My first poem is by William Stafford, a very well-known Kansas poem, and it is entitled, "Why I Am Happy." Now has come an easy time, let it roll. There is a lake somewhere so blue and far nobody owns it. A wind comes by and willow trees listen gracefully. I hear all this every summer. I laugh and cry for every turn of the world. Its terrible, cold, innocent spin. That lake stays blue and free. It goes on, and I know where it is. This next one is by Walter Whittle, and it's called Thinking. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, It's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in the world you find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in your state of mind. Many a race is lost before a step is ever run, and many a coward fails before his work has begun. Think big and your deeds will grow. Think small and you'll fall behind. Think that you can and you will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the strongest or fastest man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the fellow who thinks he can. The next three poems are mine, and as I mentioned, I think a lot of home and of nature and tribulation, trials is part of our life. And this is called Nor'easter. Nor'easterly I go, if not through rain, then snow. Follow the river with mud-caked shoes. Remember, it twists and turns, then rights itself again. I trust the path and love the plains. With life comes trials, I ascertain. I judge not the journey, for I know it's how I play the game and how I win and where I go. This lone wanderer loves the land and sky so much, they lead me not astray. For by day's end, so shall my journey, and then I'll be home again. This next one is called I Am My Home. I am my home, though guests are welcome inside for a visit or two. And when no visitors come, I sometimes feel blue. I am my home. I live all alone with all of my favorite things. With words as my food and thoughts as my bed, I've become comfortable alone in my head. I am my home. I keep house with my heart. And since Independence Day is tomorrow, I wrote a poem called Independence. So give some thought, please, all of you, as to what independence means these next few days or week, and not only give thoughts of what it means to you and your experiences of it, but what it means to people of other cultures who have fought so hard to gain their independence. Independence, like salve to an open wound, independence heals the heart, brings peace of mind amid many new starts. It welcomes the ravaged. It opens the door to those who are homeless, to those who want more. It matters not your creed or the speed it took to achieve. Independence is an ideology, a welcoming hand, a smile that reaches across a promising land. It may fill you with pride, but it comes with a price. Stand up for your freedom and freedoms of choice. Do the same for others who may not yet have a voice. This is the beginning of great things to come. Yes, you can. Welcome to your new home in this beautiful land. Thank you so very much. Happy Independence Day, everyone.
Thank you, Rhonda. You know what? Would you do me a favor and read that one again?
Independence.
The Independence one.
Sure. Like salve to an open wound, independence heals the heart, brings peace of mind amid many new starts. It welcomes the ravaged. It opens the door to those who are homeless, to those who want more. It matters not your creed or the speed it took to achieve. Independence is an ideology, a welcoming hand, a smile that reaches across a promising land. It may fill you with pride, but it comes with a price. Stand up for your freedom and freedom of choices. Do the same for others who may not yet have a voice. This is the beginning of great things to come. Yes, you can. Welcome to your new home in this beautiful land.
Oh, I love that.
Good.
Thank you. I'm glad. I was debating too. I wanted to have you read it again because you can miss so much the first time through. So thank you. Thank you very much. It was beautiful. So next we have Yassine Bakar, who is local here to the Kansas City, local here for some of us in the Kansas City area. If you attended any he offered his calligraphy arts online at a couple of the iftars that we did during Ramadan. He's very passionate about geometrical arts, and he's been creating these calligraphic beautiful renditions for years. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Yassine, and let you do your what you do so well.
Thank you very much, Kayla. I'm happy to be here and wishing a happy 4th of July to all. And I want to just say, let's get started. All right. Happy 4th of July to all. Thank you very much for the time you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Always, thank you very much. I was enjoying, the song that was playing is a song that's been around for a very long time, and it just makes me smile. It's a very old church song, but it's beautiful in some of the words, and the title is "How Great Thou Art," and it was, excuse me, reminding me of how great thou art, like in the work that we do, the Dialogue Institute and peacemaking work and interfaith and intercultural and, things like this is just acknowledging how great, whether we know someone or not, how great we are, and acknowledging people and lifting each other up and acknowledging the sacredness of everybody's life. Each person is just wonderfully great. Although that's not what the song's about, but that's what I kept thinking about because I could hear the lyrics in my head. So thank you for that.
Remembering the same things. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. So next we have Uma Gayek. She's a high school science teacher, and she does something absolutely amazing that I'm pretty sure I couldn't figure out between now and whatever 30 years I have left in this world. She does what's called book folding. And she's been doing this, I guess, about 6 years, which doesn't seem long to me. But what she does is she folds books into words, into a date, a simple logo, a map, an image like an icon. So, Uma, take it away and tell us how you do this.
Hi, and before starting, I actually want to say I'm really impressed with all the introduced artistic skills so far. Mine is, as you say, book folding. It's the process that you fold the pages of the book to come up with a design. People always ask me if I cut the pages, but I actually fold each page from the top and the bottom. I use a software program to design the desired template, and then that template tells me where I should start from the top and from the bottom to fold. And it also tells me the number of the book that I need. I prefer hardcover books to be able to put it and make it sit on the table. And since I fold each page, it takes at least 2 hours. Depends on the complexity. It may take up to 4 or 5 hours. You may see different examples on the internet, but what I do different, I also color. I don't know if you can see. This is red, and this one that says Liberty. This is kind of a blue, a navy blue. So I color them before I start folding, so that when I fold them, only the design will be in color. And other than that, just for the honor of this special day, I did these Liberty and July 4th, but I have this that is with heart with fingers, and I have these. Let me bring them close to camera. It says I love you. And I have just, let me share my screen as I have a 30-second. Okay, yes. I do logos, as you said, the Batman, Superman, and names, initials, words. My favorite is the middle one, actually. The maps. And that's all.
Can you play that again?
Sure.
Play that again for me. I know I'm taking over, but I want to see it again.
Sure. I have different examples as well. Uh, I Love You is the very first one that I did.
Where did
Actually,
you learn? Where did you learn to do this?
I was about to explain it. When
Oh,
me and my husband, when we were fiancé, my husband bring a gift and he say like, the people that I know, they don't have this gift. It's very special. It's very original gift. And after I got it, I just wanted to learn it. And I spent so much time. The very first method that I learned is to measure um, the to measure each page, like how many inch I should fold from the top and from the bottom.
hmm.
But it took almost years to come up, to finish a book. But with the template that I learned, it's just easier. I don't have to measure how many inches I need to fold. The template already tells me, but it still requires me to fold each page. It started with a curiosity. That's the only thing. But I started to love it, and then added the coloring portion and the ribbons. And I'm trying new designs.
Well, that's a I want to have you stop sharing your screen because I want to see the couple that you have in front of you
Oh yes.
um,
Let me.
again. Um, yeah. So they're just beautiful. And I'm thinking if you're not a patient person, this might not be uh, you know an undertaking.
It takes some time, but
Yeah.
fortunately, it's not like you can stop and continue later. It doesn't have to be a continuous process. But the result is inspiring. The result is very
Mhm.
motivating.
Yeah.
After you're done, you just think that all the time and effort worth it. So I just um, love to do designing more and more.
That's beautiful. Just
Yeah.
beautiful. And what a great way to recycle books as well.
Oh,
Instead of yeah.
yes. Actually, I some of them, to be honest, some of them I read. Some of them I'm planning to read. I have a couple of copies for those. But it's also motivates me to read them because we as an immigrant we learn and we need to practice English as well. So it motivates me to read as well. So yes,
Uh, Good for you. Well, thank you. They're beautiful.
thank you for
Absolutely
having me.
beautiful. Yeah, I'm still like in awe. Because imagine all the books that have, at least here in the U.S., most people I know have shelves and shelves of books that are just collecting dust. But what a wonderful way to take a book and um, you could make it into a gift for somebody.
Exactly. It's an permanent gift, actually. It doesn't. Uh, I have one that stays on my bookshelf for 7 years, for actually 6.5 years. It's very permanent and original gift.
What's the hardest one you've ever done?
Um, One of them that you have, I made a love you one. It's two layer. The
Hmm.
first layer says love, and then the second layer says you. That was two stage, so it was hardest because it took like around 7 hours for me to complete. And the
Wow.
book should be really in good shape to carry that design and that much folding as well.
Does it matter how many does the book have to be a certain number of pages?
Oh, yeah. The design tells me how many page I need, that the template. Uh,
Okay.
I before I start folding, I know that it requires around like 330 pages. So I picked a book based on that.
Well, and I'm guessing hardcover books probably are
Yes,
best.
The soft cover doesn't really fit well on a ground.
Wow, I'm just in awe. Thank you, Uma.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
me.
much. So our next artist, again, we're about to see another brilliant presentation. Chala Unalan is, I believe I said her name correctly. She's currently a university student pursuing a degree in psychology. And what she's going to show us is called phallography, which is also known as string sculpture or thread sculpture. And you've probably seen it before, but thread or wire or string is wound around a grid of nails on a board, and you just make multiple, through moving the lines. You might be using straight lines, but by using them at slightly different angles, you wind up getting these appearance of curves and really building a whole sculpture and using different colored wire or different colored thread or how you set up the nails. But I'll let Chala explain it all to you. But it's just exquisitely beautiful, and you can see there on the screen is an American flag. So tell us more, Chala.
Hello, happy Independence Day, first of all. So yeah, I did this huge American flag on a piece of wood. It's called philography. The translation is called the art thread sculpture of it. It was the art that came from Central Asia into the Middle East to the Ottoman Empire. So it was mainly dominated during those times. Right now, there's not a lot of people who do it. It was used to treat psychological patients and diagnose them with their sicknesses during the times. It is still used to this day to relieve stress or like just do it for fun. The art sculpture, I drew the picture first on a parchment paper and then attached it to the piece of wood that I wanted it to the size I want. And after doing it, nailing all the hammers from the picture I drew, I used silver or colored copper wire, and in a very unique designed way, as you can see in the picture, how can I say this? I filled in it with the colors I wanted of my own choice. The reason I did this is to celebrate and participate in the American Independence Day. While doing the flag, I really enjoyed it, first of all. It was really fun. I also learned more about the American flag, why it has 50 stars and 13 stripes of red and white. I also did it to participate in this special year's Independence Day. It is special because this country gave me many unique experiences throughout me living in the United States for 4 years.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So how long have you been doing this?
So approximately 2 weeks.
So this flag took you 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. And have you been doing these string sculptures or string art or for a long time?
Like, let's say for a few months.
Okay. Have you had the experience of when you make something and having to unravel the string?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Wow. It's just
It takes
beautiful.
a lot of patience. So
Yes. I could see that. It would be almost it could be very meditative in making. Have you made like abstract looking shapes?
no, I usually did like the one I did was like the very old picture of a house.
Okay.
I only nailed it. I never got the chance to do the string parts because I had to go back to my school.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just beautiful. So is this, are you intend to keep going? I'm like, yeah, keep making more. They're just beautiful. And the metallic thread is just the way it makes the color pop and shine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your heart and your art.
No, thank you.
Um, and so the last piece that I have for you is unless we have some, I haven't seen any questions in the chat. I know I've been asking a lot of questions. But I have a video. The gentleman's name is Jakob Baris, and he's a sand artist from Lubbock, Texas. He's a teacher at a public school there, and he wasn't able to join us live, but he did send a video recording of the sand art that he does, and he made it especially for Independence Day. So let me bring that up for you, and let's enjoy that. 1 second. So that was, sorry, I already forgot the gentleman's name. Jakob Baritz. He's a sand artist in Lubbock, and you can actually find more of his work on YouTube videos. And I'm always in awe. Everybody tonight is I'm just in awe. We did have there was a question. Uma, if you could turn your camera back on. Karen has a question about the book folding. Um, and her question is, she wanted to hear more about how the colors added to the folded paper books. Is there a stencil or a template that's filled with? She's wanted to know more about the coloring, I guess.
Actually, before starting to folding, I cover the binding part, the covers, and then with wood spray, I color it. It dries. Sometimes I do a second time painting to change the tones of the painting. After it dries, I just start paint. I just start to fold. Since I fold the top part, this part doesn't look colored, but the design, this is better to show. Yeah, the design will be with the color.
So before you folded anything, the book is closed and you color the edge of the paper.
Yes, if
Got
I
it.
unfold everything, you will see that all the book is actually covered,
Got it.
painted.
It's just amazing. Everybody's just so amazing. So, Ayup and everybody else, would you like to turn your cameras back on and join us?
Yeah, but I don't know what to say, Kelly. I'm speechless.
I know. Oh, I am too. I am too. Just wonderful, wonderful art.
Look at these artists. I should come up with something artistic today.
I know, right? I'm feeling a little
With them.
self-conscious.
Yeah, or I have nothing to say. Bye. What should I say? Just so
You could say how thankful you are that your electricity didn't go off.
Yeah, that was my concern at the beginning. Yeah, just so mesmerized, so enjoyed to see the unique art performed by different artists. And happy Independence Day, all. God bless America and US. Just want to add a few other things maybe yeah, US has been a nation for many people who is kind of freedom is stolen as well. People come here for their freedom, but freedom is not enough, although it is essential. And I think the next stage after you have your freedom is being independent, right? And I will share a small excerpt from my book, Global Warming of Hearts. They have been dreaming about freedom for many years that they spend in camps, refugee camps. And now their dream is real. They are free. But what is the next step? Being independent? Are they asking for too much? Not really. That's the basic human need. Not having to wait for a volunteer or your neighbor to take you to a market for shopping, not for a family to bring you a food package, not having to wait for another woman to bring toys for your kids. Not that volunteers shouldn't do those things. The moment they pass to the second stage is being independent. They will enjoy this beautiful country once they gain their independence. And maybe after a couple of years of their independence, they will enjoy the benefits of being a contributing citizen to this beautiful country. May God have everyone in this world to celebrate their own 4th of July, their own Independence Day. Thank you so much, everyone who watched us today. Thank you so much for each of the artists who shared their beautiful art generously, beautifully with us. What
Yeah.
else?
Thank you. And
Thank you.
have a very safe and happy weekend. Yes, be safe, be careful, but have fun too. And I think using artwork to celebrate July 4th, Independence Day for the U.S., is a very different idea and a beautiful way to connect.
Beyza, if it is not so hard for you, could you share your art again to end the evening?
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, just to give that message of diversity and unity. That is so mesmerizing. That is so mesmerizing. Thank you so much. And have a beautiful Friday evening. Happy 4th of July. Have a
Yep.
nice day.
Be happy, be safe. Thanks for joining us.